Hello everyone, welcome to the practical project-based course HSPICE for beginners. I am Karwan Jawan Mardi. In this course, we start from zero. Over 3 sessions, we go from digital basic to designing a complete analog to digital converter. In session 1, you learn the HSPICE environment and its tools. You simulate inverter and logical gates, then using subcircuits, you design a 4-bit adder. Session 2 is about analog circuits. We begin with RC filters. Then we move to 2-stage amplifier and Miller compensation. We also do Monte Carlo analysis to check how robust the circuit is against process variation. Another key skill is exporting HSPICE result to MATLAB or Python for more analysis. In session 3, we put everything together. We design and simulate a 4-bit Flash ADC. We measure its key parameters using FFT analysis. Finally, we look at the emerging technologies like CNTFET and FinFET. You will learn how to define these new models in HSPICE. Enough theory, let's jump into HSPICE and simulate our first circuit, a simple CMOS inverter step by step. Here we are in the HSPICE environment. Our first circuit is a CMOS inverter. It has 2 complementary transistors, PMOS and NMOS. The operation is simple. The output is always the opposite of the input. Give logic 0, you get 1. Give logic 1, you get 0. But in reality, the output doesn't change instantly. There is always some delay. To see this, we run a transient analysis in HSPICE. We apply a pulse to the input. The output goes up or down with a specific slope. Now, if we change the load capacitor C load, the delay changes significantly. A larger C load means a slower slope and more delay. In this simulation, I sweep C load and clearly show its effect on rise time and fall time. This concept is the foundation of all digital circuits. Now that we understand the inverter, transient analysis, and the rule of the load capacitor, let's extend this to the other logical gates like NAND, NOR, and XOR. In this part, we simulate NAND, NOR, and XOR gates. These gates are built using complementary PMOS and NMOS networks. We apply different inputs and run transient analysis. The output matched the truth table perfectly. With these gates, we can now build more complex circuits like a 4-bit adder. Here we have a more complex digital circuit, a 4-bit ripple carry adder. It consists of 4 full adder blocks. Each stage passes a carry to the next stage. This way we add 2 4-bit numbers. In this simulation, we apply 4-bit inputs and observe the sum output along with the final carry. The important point is that this is a modular structure. If we need an 8-bit or even 16-bit adder, we can simply chain these subcircuits together. No need to redesign. This shows the power of subcircuits in HSPICE. They make large-scale design simple and organized. Also, using the .measure command, we can easily calculate the total delay and find the critical path of the circuits. So far, we have covered the digital world. Now let's move to the analog circuits, where things get more challenging and exciting. Now we enter the analog section. We start with one of the most fundamental topics, RC filters. In this simulation, I show you 4 common types: low pass, high pass, band pass, and band stop. Using an AC analysis in HSPICE, we extract the frequency response of each filter. We calculate key parameters like cutoff frequency, bandwidth, and resonance frequency. Interestingly, the resonance frequency from the simulation matched the theoretical calculation exactly based on the resistor and capacitor values. Here we reached the heart of analog design, a 2-stage amplifier with a differential structure. First, let's review the theory. The total gain is the product of 2 stages. This circuit has 2 dominant poles in its frequency response. They are usually close to each other. This causes the phase margin to drop significantly. The circuit becomes unstable and may oscillate. To fix this, we use Miller compensation. by adding a capacitor and a resistor in series between the two stages. We separate the poles. This brings the phase margin above 60 degrees, making the circuit stable. In this simulation, we run both cases without compensation and with Miller compensation. We compare the frequency response and phase margin directly. You will clearly see the effect of this powerful technique. In this part, we explore one of the most powerful tools in analog design, Monte Carlo analysis. I run a Monte Carlo simulation on a typical amplifier. Then I plot the gain distribution as a histogram. This shows how the circuit performs across many random process variations. Now we reach the highlight of the course, designing a 4-bit Flash ADC. This converter has three main parts: a resistor ladder, a bank of comparators, and a thermomet to binary encoder. The comparators are dynamic. This is good because they consume very low power. There is no DC current in standby mode. The main challenge is in the encoder. Comparator offsets can cause bubble error in the thermometer code. To solve this, we use a two-step method. First, we convert the thermometer code to gray code, then we convert gray code to binary. This removes the bubble errors and improves accuracy. Now that we understand the architecture, let's simulate the ADC in HSPICE and see the results. In this simulation, we first apply a ramp input to the converter. As the input voltage slowly increases, we see the binary output increase in steps. At the same time, the thermometer code also changes step by step. This confirms that the comparators are working correctly. This test verifies the static performance of the ADC. But static performance is not enough. We also need to check dynamic performance. That's why we move to FFT analysis. To elevate dynamic performance, we apply a sinusoidal input to the ADC. Then we analyze the output using FFT from the frequency spectrum. We calculate P parameters like SNR, SNDR, THG, and most importantly, ENOB. Finally, let's take a look at the future of semiconductor technology. In this section, we learn about carbon nanotube FETs or CNTFETs. We explore the HSPICE library for this technology. We look at key parameters like tube count and structural parameters N1 and N2. Then we simulate an inverter using CNTFETs. We compare its delay and power consumption with the standard CMOS inverter. The results clearly show why CNTFETs are strong candidates for future chip generations. And this is just a small sample of the skill you will gain in this course.